Good morning, dear friends, how are you? Good morning, dear friends, how are you? Good morning, dear friends. Good morning, dear friends. Good morning, dear friends, how are you? Good morning, dear boys, how are you? Good morning, dear boys, how are you? Good morning, dear boys. Good morning, dear boys. Good morning, dear boys, how are you? Good morning, dear girls, how are you? Good morning, dear girls, how are you? Good morning, dear girls. Good morning, dear girls. Good morning, dear girls, how are you? Your turn. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Wow. So this week we have been looking at a new friend. What's the name of the new friend? Petey, peacock. And peacock reads, you put your lips together and blow out the hair. And peacock has a song. So we listen to it first and then we remember the words and then we sing together. Okay? Listen.
How Petey Peacock has a lot of friends. When he is around, the pigeons hum,
Now we sing together.
How Petey Peacock has a lot of friends. When he is around, the pigeons hum,
Again.
How Petey Peacock has a lot of friends. When he is around, the pigeons hum,
One more time.
How Petey Peacock has a lot of friends. When he is around, the pigeons hum,
Okay. Now we are going to Storyland. Story time. Put on your thinking caps, your remembering caps, your listening caps, and tie them harder. How are you going to Storyland? My bicycle got a problem, so I am going to run to Storyland today. Hey, let's go! This is the way to Storyland, Storyland, Storyland. This is the way to Storyland. Come, let us go. We shall meet with all our friends, all our friends, all our friends. We shall meet with all our friends. Just wait and see. We are in Pleasant Park, in Petey Peacock's Storyland. Okay. Petey Peacock really liked the warm day in Pleasant Park. Suddenly, a peach tree began to speak to Petey Peacock. Petey Peacock was surprised. A tree to speak? Indeed, it was a surprise. As Peach and Petey Peacock talked, a pine tree listened. It was Piney Pine. So we have Piney Pine and Peachy Peach and Petey Peacock. The two little people ran right towards Petey Peacock. The little people petted Petey Peacock's polka dot tail. They smelled Petey's pink flowers. You see, they are petting Petey Peacock, and the girl is smelling Petey's pink flowers. After the children left, Piney Pine was very quiet. Petey Peacock looked over at Piney Pine. Petey Peacock noticed that Piney Pine's face looked sad. What's the problem, Pearl? They said Pearl means friend. What's the problem, Pearl? Asked Petey Peacock. No one wants to pet my branches, sniffed Piney Pine. No one wants to smell my pine coins either. They might get bumped in the nose. Piney Pine shook his branches and sighed. If only I had feathers or pretty pink flower blossoms with small stems and a shake. Petey Peacock walked over to Piney Pine. God made you to be a pine tree, said Petey Peacock as he wrapped his wing around Piney Pine. So you see, Piney Pine was so sad he even had a drop of tea in his eyes. No one was petting him. No one was smelling him. He was so sad. Oh no. God made you to be a pine tree, said Petey Peacock as he wrapped his wing around Piney Pine. You are special just the way God made you. God made me special? Gasped Piney Pine with surprise. Oh yes, said Peachy Peach as she moved and swayed slightly. God made you to stand very straight and tall. See? God made Piney Pine to stand straight and tall. Your top branch points right up to God. You see? The top branch points up to God. God up in heaven. Little people need to be pointed to God every day, said Petey Peacock. Piney Pine picked up his branches. I'm glad, said Piney Pine with a smile. I'm glad that God has a special purpose for me. Maybe He will use my pine coins in a special way. Although it is a warm day, Piney Pine smiled. Piney Pine was as happy as he could be. He smiled from branch. For me, I smile from cheek to cheek. Piney Pine smiles from branch to branch. So Piney Pine smiled. Soon it was a dry season. The round sun set warm sunbeams over Pleasant Park. Pretty pink, yellow, and purple flowers popped out. Butterflies fluttered back and forth, flapping their pretty wings. Pigeon birds poked and picked around the park. They looked for picnic crumbs to eat. Many little people played in the park. Little people, we mean children. They petted Petey Peacock's pretty green and blue polka dot tail. The little people often picked the juicy peaches that now hung on Peach's branches. Piney Pine stood quietly. He pointed his top branch up. Piney Pine pointed up to God. The little people did not pet Piney Pine's branches, and certainly no one tasted Piney Pine bumpy pine corns. Yet, Piney was not sad because he knew God created him for a special purpose. God made for me a purpose, said Piney. God made me just the way he wants me to be. Just like you, just like me. God created you for a special purpose. And God created me for a special purpose. Sometimes Petey Peacock's little brothers and sisters would pitter-patter to the park. Pitter-patter, they are moving. Okay, friends? Peach would give each little peacock a juicy peach. So, you see, Peach had fruits called peach. So every time Peacock's siblings went to the park, he used to give them peaches, and they are sweet. Then all the little peacocks would pitter-patter home, would walk home, would pitter-patter home. Soon, the dry season was gone. Then another season came. Pleasant Park was once again painted with many colors. The leaves on the trees became red, orange, and yellow. Peach's leaves turned many colors. The leaves fell to the ground. Peaches were all picked. All the peaches, all the fruits from the peach tree were all picked. There was no single fruit on the peach tree. Very quickly, Peach went to sleep for winter. We said winter is the season where snow falls. In Uganda, we don't have snow season, but in other countries, they have a season called winter where snow falls. If you put one in the fridge like this, you would feel it so cold. Imagine if that coldness is everywhere, outside, everywhere, when the snow is everywhere. So that is how their season is. Piney did not sleep. Piney stayed awake. Piney stayed very green. Piney stood straight and tall as he pointed his top branch to God. Piney was still pointing to God when winter came. One snow morning, Petey Peacock awoke to a very pretty surprise. Snow was everywhere. You see? All the fruits, all the leaves from Peach's tree were all picked. The leaves fell off and Peach went to sleep. But Piney stayed awake. Piney stayed green all throughout. And he stayed awake. He did not sleep. So one morning, he woke up to a surprise. There was snow everywhere. On the ground, on him, on Peach, everywhere. There was snow. I must go and see Piney. Petey Peacock, as he sat down to breakfast, we can play in the snow together. During breakfast, Papa Peacock told the little peacocks something very, very important. There is a problem in Pleasant Park, said Papa Peacock as he ate his porridge. It is too cold for picnics. Now there are no peanuts, popcorns, or crumbs left on the picnic tables. So the little children were not coming anymore because it was snow time. It was so cold. Probably they stayed in their houses. So there were no crumbs, there were no peanuts left for the pigeons to eat. The park pigeons don't have anything to eat. Oh no, that is sad. All the little peacocks listened to Papa Peacock. Papa Peacock told the little peacocks to try and think of a way to help park pigeons. After breakfast, Petey Peacock put the big porridge pot away. Petey Peacock made his room neat by hanging up his pajamas and pulling up his quilt. Then Petey Peacock put on his parka, the big coat. The parka, Petey Peacock put his purple scarf around his neck. Petey Peacock pitter-pattered out the door. Petey Peacock had forgotten all about playing in the snow. You see, now Petey Peacock is dressed for winter season. Since it is very cold, he put on something to keep him warm. Then he pitter-pattered to Pleasant Park. I've got to talk to Piney Pine, patted Petey Peacock as he plowed through the snow. I've got to go to Piney Pine and talk to him. Perhaps Piney Pine can help with the park problem. So do you remember what the problem was? The pigeons had nothing to eat, and yet it was winter season. Oh my God. Peach was sleeping, but Piney Pine stayed awake. So Petey Peacock went to Piney Pine to look for a solution, to see if they can get a solution. Time for questions. And tomorrow we are going to find out what the solution was. Okay, friends? Petey Peacock told Piney Pine, God made you to be a pine tree. God made you to be a pine tree. What did the little people pet on Petey Peacock? What did the little people pet on Petey Peacock? The little people petted Petey Peacock's tail. What did the little people pick off Peachy Peach? What fruits came off from Peachy Peach? Peaches. Peachy Peach went to sleep for, what was the season again? Peachy Peach went to sleep because it was winter season. Sorry. Why did Petey Peacock plow through the snow to see Piney Pine? Why did Petey Peacock go to Piney Pine? What did he want to tell Piney Pine? There was a problem. The pigeons were going hungry, and he wanted to find a solution immediately because the pigeons were hungry. So tomorrow we are going to find out what was the solution, as you also think of a solution. So tomorrow you are going to tell me what you thought. What solution can you give? It is winter, it is very cold, so we are going to look for a solution together. Okay, friends? See you tomorrow.